I'm your superhero critic, and I'll stay super as long as you stay awesome.
Released in 2003, X-2 X-Men United brought back the entire original cast and was once again directed by Bryan Singer and written by Michael Dougherty, Dan Harris, and David Hayter. The film began development directly after the massive success of the first film and was based on the stories of Return to Weapon X and God Loves, Man Kills, and focused on William Stryker wanting to create a mutant genocide, forcing the X-Men and the Brotherhood to put their differences aside and work together.
So let's look at why X-2 X-Men United is regarded as the best X-Men film.
Once again, we begin with another voiceover regarding mutation, and after the credits we go to the White House that is having a tour that is interrupted by Nightcrawler taking down guard after guard, this bringing out one of the best opening sequences in not only X-Men films, but superhero movies as a whole, as this scene perfects the teleporting powers and dangers that Nightcrawler can show and has. And I will forever go down with saying that this is the best scene in the entire X-Men film franchise.
Yeah, I repeated my thoughts. What about it? You wanna fight? Okay.
Nightcrawler goes to murder the president, but is shot from behind, forcing him to run away. And we then follow Wolverine as he finds the abandoned base Xavier told him about in the first film. Now heading to a field trip with the little mutant, Artie makes a friend.
Artie.
Insert inappropriate dirty joke here. You're welcome.
During that field trip, Jean starts to have a headache as her powers seem to be acting up. And speaking of acting up, Pyro handles a couple of bullies the best way that he can. Bobby outs the fire out as the entire museum freezes in place as Xavier takes over the situation, and upon seeing the news, they all leave the museum. The X-Men then try to figure out who tried to murder the president before we go to William Stryker, who wants to talk to the president, and Senator Kelly giving them information regarding the X-Mansion and letting Mystique know where Eric is.
William, you enter, you detain, you question, but the last thing we need to see is the body of a mutant kid on the 6 o'clock news.
See, a human kid dying is 100% fine, but you can't kill any mutants. Mutant privilege.
Senator Kelly asks to see Eric and Stryker, but heads with him instead. Bobby then gets cock-blocked as Logan comes back, which he clearly is not happy about. Before we learn that Storm and Jean are heading out, Logan then tries to get caught up on everything.
Your bike needs gas. Fill her up.
Oh, Lord! Is it hot in here, or is it just me?
Stryker visits Magneto and after assaulting him, demands info on Xavier's school. Logan then goes to see Xavier, and after being threatened over his cigar, Xavier tracks Nightcrawler's position. Logan wants more answers, but Xavier has none. Mystique then sneaks into Stryker's building to find where Eric is being held, as we learn there's a second Cerebro being built. Meanwhile, in Boston, the girls track down Nightcrawler.
Damn it, Storm! Stop trying to fry everyone to death!
We learn that Kurt has no idea why he did the assassination attempt, and we learn that he has the same bruise on his neck just like Eric. Logan's mind then brings back some of his old memories.
Well, at least he didn't stab anyone this time.
While Logan is awake and grabbing a soda with Bobby, Scott and Xavier visit Eric, who lets him know about Stryker and that all the secrets have been told to him, while a fight between Yuriko and Cyclops begins, and ends just as quickly.
You got knocked the fuck out, man! Give me my...
This begins the Stryker infiltration scene as armed men begin attacking the students and forcing Wolverine to go defensive, taking out man after man as we also see what each kid can do, like Colossus tossing someone through a wall. The kids head to the safe room as Bobby, John, and Rogue need saved by Logan. Stryker shows up and taunts Wolverine with the knowledge that he wants, but Bobby gives Logan a way to escape with an ice wall. The trio snags Cyclops' car to get away, with Logan trying to explain what little he does know about the situation as they head to Boston. Stryker begins his takeover of the mansion and hijacking of Cerebro, while Mystique in disguise flirts with Eric's guard, and after a little kinkiness in the bathroom, the drugs kick in and she injects him with some sort of gray liquid.
You know, I've had nights like that, but the liquid that I was given wasn't gray.
Xavier wakes up to find Stryker has been behind everything that he wants all mutants dead, and is willing to force his own son to do his will. Logan's group then takes shelter at Bobby's parents' house, and Rogue and Bobby finally kiss.
Well, I'm not dead, but I do have a boner.
We then visit Eric again, and this time the security guard has way too much iron in his blood, allowing Magneto to create metal balls out of his blood and escape. We then see why Bobby was weary about being around his parents.
So, as a member of the LGBT community, I 100% understand how Bobby feels in this situation, being someone who was basically disowned for coming out the closet. So, yeah, if anyone says that X-Men is not a representation of our community, they don't actually know what X-Men is meant to stand for. That being said, let's move on with the review.
Bobby's family's bigotry continues as his parents blame themselves and his brother calls the cops. Storm gets to know Kurt a little bit as they bond over being mutants. The two groups then finally get a hold of each other as cops show up at the Drakes.
Trigger-happy cops. Always shoot first and then ask questions never.
John goes ballistic, attacking the cops and blowing the cars up, forcing Rogue to suck his powers away. Giggity. Storm and Jean arrive to help as Xavier is mentally tortured by Jason. The Blackbird then gets met with two jets demanding that they comply. Storm gives them cover, but in the process, two missiles manage to get through. Jean stops one, but the other ends up blowing up the Blackbird, sending Rogue flying since her seatbelt would not fasten, forcing Nightcrawler to have to save her.
And that right there is why Nightcrawler is fucking OP, and they've never used him again in films. Which is a shame.
The Blackbird begins to crash, but is caught mid-air by Magneto, and he catches the group up on who Stryker really is, and what he wants, including telling Wolverine a little bit about himself. Jean reads Kurt's mind to learn what he knows about the hidden base, before her and Logan have a heart-to-heart about what's going on at that point, and it ends in a passionate kiss while Kurt asks Mystique a burning question.
They say you can imitate anybody. Even their voice. Even their voice. Then why not stay in disguise all the time? You know? Look like everyone else.
Because we shouldn't have to.
She does have a point.
Things get spicy as Jean comes in to get with Logan, only that it turns out to be Mystique trying to fuck with him mentally, and trying to get him to think about what he really wants. Rogue is then teased by Magneto, who then talks to John, who shows him his powers and dons the name Pyro. The group debate on who's going to go in first as they decide that Mystique should pose as Logan, with Stryker's men taking her in where she quickly gets the upper hand. Mystique begins to hack the computers while Stryker's men try to break the door down, allowing the whole group to get in. They decide to split up, with half of them going to free the children, while the other half go to Xavier. However, Logan wants answers and dips the entire group. Stryker instructs Jason to finish the plan. A brainwashed Cyclops attacks Jean's trio, causing another team separation.
You know, you could have just said duck instead of throwing Magneto and Mystique on the ground. Dick.
Jean takes Scott out as Storm and Nightcrawler find the kid's holding cell as Logan looks for Stryker. Jean then shows another hint of the Phoenix Force as she deflects Scott's beam, which knocks him out of his trance. Stryker then realizes that the dam is starting to burst, while Logan finds a secret bunker that floods back memories of Weapon X before a fight between him and Stryker's silent assassin begins as we see her to be Lady Deathstrike, and while formidable, Logan still gets the upper hand and eventually pumps her body full of liquid adamantium.
And she is now a statue!
Jason continues his mind control as Magneto pulls the pins on a bunch of grenades before Jason demands Xavier to begin killing the mutant kind everywhere. But once Magneto gets through, the attack is quickly stopped and manipulated to have Xavier find and kill humans instead. Logan still wants answers and attacks Stryker, and once he learns the dam is about to burst, he ties Stryker to a plane. The group realize what's going on, and Storm shows her faith in Nightcrawler.
Kurt, I need you to take me inside.
Storm, who is this guy? Who are you?
My name is Kurt Wagner, but in the Munich circus...
He's a teleporter.
Storm decides to create a cold front in order to battle Jason, while Magneto reties Stryker to a rock and picks up Pyro as they leave. Storm's plan works, freeing Xavier as the dam is imploding from the inside. The group begin making their way out of the compound as Logan helps them find the way out as Rogue lands the Blackbird safely, but they have lost way too much power and can't get it going. Jean then decides to make the ultimate sacrifice as she uses her powers to lift the Blackbird, as well as stopping the water flow long enough for the rest of the X-Men to get away.
Well, with all these dams breaking, they might as well call Superman to reverse time!
Logan lets Scott grieve into him as the group head home, and the president holds a press conference to talk about the worldwide phenomenon that is interrupted by Xavier's mind freezing to give him all the answers about what was really going on, and to persuade him not to see them as a threat. Logan tries to remind Scott that Jean had always chosen Scott over him, and our movie ends with Xavier believing hope and an ending narration with a small nod to the future Phoenix Rising in the next film. The film was another massive success, making $407 million on a $125 million budget, and even gave us 2 video games tying more of the story together, leaving the door open for the inevitable sequel.
So that was X-2. Personally and majorly, this is the best X-Men film to ever come out. It's got great effects that have been improved from the first one. It's got an actually good and gripping storyline, and the massive amount of new characters make it way more enjoyable from the second Nightcrawler hits the screen to the end of Jean's death. That being said, it all goes downhill from here! So, yeah, join me next week as we look at Last Stand. Yay. I'm your superhero critic. I'll stay super as long as you stay awesome. You know, I've had nights like that. Stop licking yourself in the back, Luke!